And we're recording.
That's right. It's seltzer time, everybody. Because
Okay.
I did a lot of actual day drinking today, so I'm trying to drink some fucking seltzer to bring myself back. I did
Get the fluids.
My lady and I went to several breweries today with our dog, which is what many people. That's what people do in New York City on weekends, kids. Us childless millennials. We go to breweries with our dogs and we drink craft beer, and everyone hates us for it. Anyway.
Gentrifier.
Yes. Mike, let's knock out the Giants real quick, even though I vowed to never talk about them again, and then I have another thing we got to talk about too. Let's do it.
So they won today, and
it's a miracle.
Here's the thing. Most teams, especially teams who do well, this is not like a big deal to them. This is like, okay, so to us, it's exciting because the Giants won because their quarterback threw the ball down the field.
You mean he threw it forward towards the end zone?
He threw it towards the end zone that we're supposed to score in. He actually threw it over the scrimmage.
Okay. And he threw it to people wearing the same uniform as him.
He did.
Holy shit. What a novel concept.
Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Mr. Goodfella himself, he had 3 touchdowns, 3 in one game, not in a span of 3 months.
Wow. His mom must have made him an extra big chicken parm for that one. Good job, Tom. We're proud of you, big guy.
246 yards. He had a passer rating of a 137.7. No interceptions.
But it was against the Commanders.
Yeah. Well, he ran down the field going like this.
Oh,
he really did that. He really did. He really, we'll throw that clip in there.
I wasn't watching. I can't do it anymore because that was their 3rd win of the year. Dude, I'm telling you, I came into this fucking season with high hopes because you and I were there watching playoff games together last year, having such a good time. I had such high hopes for this year, and they're 3-8 or 3-9 now? It's 3-8, I believe.
They are 3-8 right now,
and the 3 wins are against the Cardinals, the Commanders, and what's the other one?
And the Commanders. They beat them twice.
and then they gave games away to other, like they could be a 4-7 win team. They could be. It's just it's hard for me to talk about this, but yes, good for them. They won. 3 wins. I think you and I earlier in the season were trying to predict if they'd win 3 or 4 wins. So this is their 3rd one. We need one.
One more, baby.
Mike.
So this means they drop down in the draft order for the moment?
Yeah, no, that's all it means. That's all it means. There's nothing really positive to take away other than you beat a team worse than you twice and you lost to the Jets like a month ago. That's it. Well, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this. I mean, what he gave us today as a quarterback is what your quarterback should be doing, as we all know. So I don't know what they've been trying to do with Daniel Jones, what they're trying to get from him, but this is what you're supposed to do every week, even if you lose. How often have we seen quarterbacks? Well, we just saw it in the Super Bowl. They have great games, but they lose. But at least they threw the ball down the field. I mean, this isn't rocket science. So I'm happy for him. I'm not getting super excited just yet. Hey, let's keep it going. But they still have a lot of fixing to do, and it starts with I talked to a friend of mine this weekend. I was away with some friends this weekend. He's a huge Giants fan, and according to him, he puts this all on Mara. Once Mara became the head of the show, things just not improved. And for whatever reason, it seems, he said, this is him saying this, I'm paraphrasing, he feels that, and other people have said this too, that Mara wants to stick with Daniel Jones, and a lot of the bad decisions over the past few years is because Mara interferes with the GMs and they can't GM. So if that's the case, then that figures out our problem. Because
you know what? He needs to understand that, guess what? We have an Italian from Jersey on the fucking team now, and the locals are all about it.
Finally.
Yeah, no, and you are an Italian guy not from Jersey, you're from Bay Ridge, which is also pretty Italian.
From Brooklyn, generally, different parts of Brooklyn, yeah. I grew up in Jersey, though, but yeah.
I mean, they dropped $40 million on Jones, so obviously they're sticking with him, at least at the beginning of next year anyway. But yeah, it's that's it. I don't really, exactly. I don't really want to talk about it that much anymore. Yay, they won. I guess that's cool. Even if they win the next 6 in a row, it won't matter a whole lot. I mean, that'd be cool, but that's not going to happen.
No, too many problems.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm over it emotionally. Like, I keep one eye on it. I check the score on my phone, whatever. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to go to bars and really get into it because you and I experienced a lot of pain in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
To
it's
put
just an
put it nicely.
it's embarrassment. You can't even enjoy it. It's not even worth investing your time into, especially what it costs to watch football nowadays. And it's like, oh, it's free. It's on TV. I don't have cable. Cable's friggin' expensive. I mean, this hat was $40.
Well,
This
we talked about that.
is
You and I
crap.
go to the sports bar with a couple of friends, and we're dropping $200-300.
Right.
Because
Right.
you need that many drinks to get through a Giants game these days. Hey, okay.
Hey.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
that is. I don't have much more to say about that. If you don't,
Nah,
so
it's yay, and let's go. We'll
yeah,
move
yeah,
on.
go team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So the big story of the week, this week in sports in general, I think, was of course the Oakland situation. I don't know how close
Mm.
you've been following this situation, but looks like Oakland is going to lose their last actual major professional sports team. The
Yes.
Raiders left. The Warriors went across the bay, and now
Mhm.
the A's look like they're also going to go to Vegas. I want to say, if any A's fans come across this, I'm from Connecticut. We
Mhm.
lost the Whalers when I was a kid,
Yep.
so I feel you, man. I
Mhm.
completely sympathize with what you're going through.
Yep.
I'm gonna do my absolute best to go through sort of my personal emotions with this
Mhm.
because I've actually been to the Oakland Coliseum twice.
Mhm.
I've been to a
Yeah.
Raiders game back when they were the Oakland Raiders, and I've been to an Oakland A's game. I've been to a
Right.
lot of different baseball stadiums. I kind of, I don't want to say I know what I'm talking about entirely with the
Right.
situation, but I'll do my best. First of all the criticisms of the stadium being trash are
Yeah.
absolutely true. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
is an
never been there. Yeah.
outdated. Yeah, it's an outdated trash ballpark. Like, and this is
Mhm.
not an exaggeration. To get to the ballpark from the
Right.
public transport, you
Mhm.
have to walk on like a skywalk through it. Like, well, it's basically an industrial yard.
Right.
It's not like a nice
What?
area at all. It's gross. It's loud. It's disgusting. It's
I
not like it's not scenic. Well, to put it nicely that way.
Yeah.
Also, the stadium is incredibly outdated as far as the amenities go.
Mhm.
It feels every bit of the 1960s and 70s that it was built in. It just does.
Mhm. Ugh.
Um, yeah, it's definitely trash.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures
Um,
of it now, and it's just
yeah,
yeah.
it's
There's
bad. But I
it's
will
all
say this.
seats.
I will
Yeah.
say this. The fans are badass. Everything you've heard about the fans
Mhm.
is totally badass. I
I
have
love
been,
it.
like I said, I went to a Raiders game there one time, and
Mhm.
like, listen to me. I have been to Mexico City. I've been to Lima. I'm fairly well traveled, and I
Yeah.
can confidently say that the most dangerous place I've ever been in my life is the parking lot of an Oakland Raiders game.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah. It really matches the name Colosseum, you know? It's like a bunch
Dude,
of angry Romans fighting lions.
it's crazy out. No, yeah, it is. And like the whole thing with the black hole fans, that shit is
Mhm.
real. Those dudes dress up full on like armor and like
Yeah.
spray paint body paint. It's crazy.
Yeah, look
You
like
walk through the
Gwar.
parking. Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And you walk through the
Yeah.
parking lot. All you smell is two things distinctly. You smell
Mhm.
weed and you smell
Mm.
barbecue. It is like,
Right.
again, it's kind of my people.
It's like a Snoop Dogg, it's like a Dr.
Yeah,
Dre video.
yeah.
That's
No, I
awesome.
mean, I again, I get down with the types of people that are in Oakland, and
Yeah.
also too, I'll say this: whenever I travel, I just take whatever clothing I have that sort of matches the color of the team. I just kind of
Yeah.
put that on and go to the
Right.
stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a Raiders game, I just put on like a gray T-shirt, figuring, oh, I'd blend in. Dude, I got
Right.
called the fuck out by those fans. They were like,
Really?
they're like, "Where's your Raiders gear? What are you doing? Well, what's up?" Like, I'm wearing your color. They could sense it that I was an out of towner. So
It's
I gotta
awesome.
say I
Yeah.
respect the hell out of the Oakland, at least the Raiders fans. I do respect the A's fans too. We're gonna get to that right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so this goes to show you. Now you go to Yankee Stadium a good amount. You know, you and I,
I try to
whatever.
go at least once a year, yeah, if I
Yeah, I
can.
go a few
Yeah.
times. So I was first of all, the Bay, for those of you who've never been, the temperature difference between downtown San Francisco and Oakland,
Mhm.
which is or inland, is like 30 degrees. I left my
Wow.
hotel in San Francisco, got on the train, it was like 65 and cloudy, wearing a
Mhm.
sweatshirt. I get to Oakland, it's like in the upper 90s and burning hot fucking sun.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, it's a weird thing if you've never been to that part of the
No.
country. And so I get
No.
there, I sit down. Oh yeah, so I go up to the front of the stadium. I walk through the industrial yard again,
Yeah.
and tell me, as someone who goes to Yankee Stadium, you can cut me off at any time. Tell me the
Mhm.
difference in the experience I'm about to lay out for you.
Right.
I went through there and what you go through at a Yankee game. All right.
Right.
I walk up. I just go up to the box office and I go, "Hey, are there any tickets available?" The dude starts laughing at me. He
Yeah,
starts
okay.
laughing at me,
It's
like,
a
as if to
yeah,
say, like, "Yeah, we were fucking with the A's, we don't sell out," that kind of thing. And
right.
then I'm like, "All right, yeah, I want a ticket for the game." And he goes, "All right, today's tickets range in price from $12 to $65."
Yeah, now wait, that is that just for, like, the upper decks? The upper
That's
decks?
the next thing I asked. I go, 65, what would that get me? 65 bucks. Because as you know, parking at Yankee Stadium is like 35, 40 bucks. I'm like,
Right.
65 bucks. Dude, I sat 4 rows from the Oakland A's dugout for $65. Okay. Yeah, it was
He
awesome.
coulda played.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
would, well, and that's the thing. They tried to upsell me to like these other seats for like 200 that were like right behind the plate that apparently had like free everything. I was like, nah, I'm just, I don't really care. I'm not really a fan.
Yeah,
I didn't say that part, but
right.
so I sit there in my seat, and
Mhm.
some woman, this I don't know who this lady is, but if somehow somebody from the A's comes across this, you might know this person. I don't know who this
Right.
person is. This older Asian lady sits down next to me. She goes, "Oh,
Mm.
you're in such and such's seat," and I'm like, "What?" I guess the seat that I had was like part of somebody else's partial season ticket plan.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then she starts chatting me up. She's super nice. She starts offering me fresh fruit. And yeah, and then it's also, remember, it's hot as shit that day. They were
Okay.
walking around the stadium giving out sunscreen to people.
Oh, that's awfully decent of him. That's
How
nice.
much, Mike, how much would sunscreen cost at Yankee Stadium if they sold it?
$25 a bottle?
Easily.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like taking in the California vibes, like, this is awesome. Somebody just handed me fruit and they
The
gave me a
California
sunscreen.
vibes, yeah, yeah,
This is incredible.
yeah,
And so I loved it. I had a great
yeah,
time, man. And so
yeah.
then the game is gonna start. And you know how in some like football games, like college or NFL, they do like a military flyover?
Yes.
So Oakland didn't do that. They did a police motorcade where a bunch of cops rode around the outfield on ATVs, like to show like
Oh,
cop pride.
yeah,
They
right.
got booed mercilessly.
They were just making an arrest outside. It's, "Here, come
Yeah,
on, we need you real
dude, it
quick."
was so, like, I respect Oakland so hard for booing the shit out of the cop motorcade.
That's
And so, like,
amazing.
yeah,
That wouldn't
so
even
that,
happen in New York, as much as the problem have had over the years and
yeah.
still have with cops, especially in the Bronx. They don't boo the cops, they cheer them,
No,
which is
we got enough bootlickers who are fans of the Yankees and the
yeah,
Giants and everything. We do,
right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to share that sort of story to show you the kinds of people that go to Raiders and A's games. They're kind of a little more badass than
Yeah.
your average little suit and tie douchebag who sits behind the home plate at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I definitely respect the hell out of that city.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I had a fucking great time both times I went. So, let's move on and talk about how I believe that uh, it's gonna fail in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's gonna fail.
Okay.
And just so everyone, like, I'm not trying to jerk myself off too much on the show, but I have a
Right.
degree, and I'm not kidding. I have a
Yeah.
degree in tourism geography,
Oh,
and
ooh,
I
ooh,
also
ooh.
used to work at a casino
Yeah.
hotel. So,
Okay.
like, when it comes to this specific topic, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so just to give a quick little geography lesson, people. So the metro population of Las Vegas is just shy
Mhm.
of 3 mil. The metro population of the Bay Area is just shy of 8 mil. So even
Right.
if you factor in if it's like 2/3 of people be Giants fans in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
that's still more people that would be A's fans in the Bay Area than if
Right.
almost every single person from Vegas
Yeah.
suddenly became fans, which they're not going to, because I don't know if you've ever lived in a tourist city. I used to live in
No.
Orlando. I live in New York now.
Mhm.
Not many people are from that area.
Yeah, we see that in New York too, more now that there's a lot of people from out of town who live in New York and they've become casual Knick fans and they go to games and they're reading books and that's why tickets are even more expensive. But that's a whole nother topic. So I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
Hey,
Yeah,
no, it don't you no need to get personal, okay? Just
sorry, but you're an actual local. No, you're Connecticut. That's local. I'm talking about way out of town. They have no clue
yeah,
about anything.
yeah. Somebody who moved here from
Yeah,
Missouri and is
you're from the tri-state area. Yeah,
yeah, no, exactly.
yeah.
Um, so, so back to the Vegas
Yeah.
thing. So they're building like a 30,000 seat stadium. At least that's what they're saying. I don't, and which by the way would be tiny. for
Yeah, that's very small.
for baseball.
Yeah.
And they're trying to say, so, oh, well, even if people aren't really fans, the tourists will go. We're going to fill it with tourists.
Yeah.
Dude, no, you're not. Okay. You might for like a weekend series against like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Cubs or a
Mhm.
well-traveled national fan base. But if it's a
Right.
Tuesday night game against the I was about to say Indians, the Guardians, the Cleveland
Right, yeah.
Guardians or the
Right.
Royals or something, you're not going to be
Yeah,
able to move
Brewers.
30,000
Yeah.
tickets. Okay.
No.
And also the locals aren't even going to go there because
Right.
the strip, which is where they want to build it in Las Vegas, that
Right.
is the Times Square of Las Vegas.
Okay.
Like, no, when's the last time you've been to Times Square, Mike? You're a local.
I try to avoid it only because it's way too crowded.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. The locals can't even afford to go because half of them are just hospitality workers anyway. Okay. And
Yeah.
so you're not going to get a local fan base there.
Mm.
You're going to do 30,000 tickets 81 times a year for tourists. That's not going to happen. It's
No,
just not. That's not how that industry works. I'm sorry.
for football and even hockey, the games are spread out enough that it's not like baseball's every night. It's
Mhm.
just about every night. So especially when you're home, you're home for 3 straight nights. If it's a home series, you could be home for 2 weeks and go on the road or whatever. And that might be a lot to ask to fill that stadium night after night. So maybe that's why they're only doing 30,000, because you always hear Yankee Stadium's full capacity, 50,000. Well,
Yeah.
30,000 is that's 20,000 less people that you're not getting to a baseball game.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it's I'm glad you also mentioned the Raiders a second ago because I was going to
Yeah.
bring that up. I'm gled you said that, Mike. A
I
lot
did?
of people you did.
Okay.
Well, you said football. The thing
Oh, okay. Yeah.
is that football, there's either 8 or 9 home games depending on your schedule now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
81 with baseball. There's 10 times the amount of fucking home games.
Yeah.
And so, like, anybody who tries to say, like, oh, well, it worked for the Raiders. Yeah, because you only have to
Yeah.
fill
Right.
10 Sunday afternoon games.
Right. Not even. Yeah, I guess it's 10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a call. Yeah.
And also too, on the
Yeah.
weekends, people will fly out. I mean, it's the Raiders. The Raider
Yeah.
Nation is a real thing. They will fly out from places.
Yeah.
It's a completely different animal. And so anybody who says that, oh, the tourists will fill the state, no, they won't. And here's the thing: even if they do, because again, I used to work at a casino. I know how the sausage is made. What
Mhm.
they'll do is they'll just go to the local casinos and they'll give out tickets and they'll comp people who just lost a bunch of money gambling.
Uh,
Because that's
yeah.
how they fill hotels, by the way, in a lot of these places. If you lose a bunch of
Yeah.
money gambling, they'll upgrade you to whatever, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, so picture this, Mike. Picture you go to Las Vegas and you lose 6 grand on a slot machine, and then to
Right.
make you feel better, someone hands you an upper deck seat to a last place baseball team.
What? No, I'd rather be taken in the back room and whacked by Joe Pesci or something.
Yeah, that'd be more entertaining than be
Stabbed in the neck
fucking
with a pen. Yeah.
handcuffed to a chair and beaten for
Yeah,
fucking 3 hours.
right. Pop your eyeball out. Yeah.
Exactly.
That would
Okay.
be more interesting. Yeah.
And so that's just sort of a brief overview of why it's going to fail there. It is absolutely going to fail. It's going to be hilarious to watch it happen from a distance. It is. I'm sorry.
Right.
I feel bad for the folks in Oakland,
Mhm.
but I don't feel bad for the all the douchebag owners who are helping
Yeah.
get this done. One last note on this too.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, for those of you who don't know climate science at all, it's a desert. It gets
Yes.
really hot there. It's
Yeah.
like triple digits for a lot of the summer. And so this stadium is going to have to be a domed stadium. It's going to
Right.
be like the Trop in, by the way, Tropicana Field in Tampa is the actual worst stadium. The current
Yeah.
Coliseum in Oakland's the second worst. But
Okay. Yeah.
can you think of anything lamer, Mike, than playing
Uh,
81 home games indoors?
uh, playing 81 games in a Costco in
Okay.
in Tropicana. No, I'm trying to make a joke and it was horrible and I'm canceled. No, it's terrible. You have to have some kind of you can have a dome. It's got to open and close, but they don't have an opening and closing dome, correct?
Well,
It's
they
going to be
don't have a
closed.
stadium yet. So here's the thing. I don't
Oh,
know
right.
this as well as other people who've been. There are
Mhm.
other like channels I've watched and I've read a good amount on this. Apparently, they're trying to build this on like an old hotel site right on the strip. They wouldn't have the space to build any type of dome that would open and close.
Right.
So as of right now, as of this recording, I mean, if they come out with renderings in a couple weeks that are different, obviously I'll eat my words.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be a fixed dome, which is
Yeah.
so tragic. It's just, I thought we were done with this in baseball. I thought we were either just going to have
Yeah.
open stadiums or the retractable roof ones. And so it's going to be
Mhm.
probably a bad facility to watch ball in. It's not going to be that much of an upgrade from the Coliseum, probably. It's going to be filled with a bunch of tourists that either just lost money
Mhm.
on gambling, or it's going to be just people who are checking it out casually who are completely apathetic. It's going to be basically all
Yeah.
road games for the home team forever.
It's horrible.
I just
It's
really,
horrible.
I don't see this working. I think it's trash. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. It's garbage.
The argument I was listening on the radio a while
Hmm.
back, somebody over the summer, and somebody was talking about it's good that they're moving because if you've ever been to Oakland, it's trash and it's crime and blah blah blah. And the radio host was like, "Well, hold on, you're from New York. Have you gone to the Garden? Like, how is it any different of the types of people you could like?" He's claiming you have to come across in Oakland. You're gonna come across the same types of people that bother you in that sense. You know, if they're homeless or they're panhandling, whatever it is, or there's crime or somebody sleeping on the street. You get that at the Garden, and the Garden fills out all the time. So it can't be the crime. So the excuse that they're leaving is, "Oh, Oakland is bad." Well, if you leave, yeah, it's gonna make it worse. Number one,
Yeah.
there's less income coming in. It's gonna it has the feeling of an abandoned city. So not to go all, we're sports, but like that's just bad for the city, the people that don't deserve that. And yeah, what are you gonna have? Like I'm wondering at Raiders games. I'm sure they have this at Raiders games. They pay people to dress up as the Raiders fans with the costume, and I'm sure there's guys. It's Vegas. It's a showtown. I'm sure they
Hmm.
pay people to do that. So like, what are you gonna do for A's game? Like baseball is pretty much a daily thing. At least with basketball, you got courtside seats. You'll be seen on TV. People will show up. It's Vegas. Look, here's Chris Rock. He just did a show and now he's at the game. You'll get that with basketball. Football, like you said, is once a week. Hockey is I don't know anything about hockey. Hockey's its own thing. It's probably they won. They've been great, so it's popular. A buddy of mine moved out to Vegas. I should ask him of what he expects for baseball because what is the surrounding like with Yankees, you have surrounding suburban areas like other major
Well, they're trying to
cities.
put this right on the strip,
Yeah.
which is like right in the main tourist drag.
Yeah.
Basically, like I said, it's the equivalent of like putting it like on Hollywood Boulevard or like in Times Square or something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, do people really go to Vegas for baseball?
No, they're going to
Or
see shows and the gamble. Yeah.
yeah, they go there for hookers and blow. Okay,
That too. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
gamble.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I really just don't see this fitting into the culture of that city, and
Yeah.
I just don't see the numbers matching up as somebody who has a pretty good understanding of geography
Yeah.
compared to most people.
Hmm.
It just doesn't jive, dude. It just doesn't. And so again, I feel for the fans in Oakland. I really do.
Hmm.
And I think that this is going to go down in history as one of the most epic fails in terms of a team relocation, really in sports history. And I'm calling that now in 2023. I'm
It
going to go on record saying that.
so they're going there because their sports betting is legal now. So it seems to make sense, but in terms of it I feel like it's going to impact the way the game is played because if it goes and it's failing or it's not doing all right away, Rob Manfred is going to try to do something ridiculous to make it more cartoonish to get people to go night after night. And that is something we already have a problem with now with baseball. Well, look, some of the changes they made recently with the pitch clock, we all laughed at it. It's stupid. It actually works, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's making them play baseball the old way, which is what we've been fighting for is, 40 something, late 30 something
I'm glad
fans.
you mentioned that. Actually, this is kind
Yeah.
of a little tangential topic. You are right, Mike. The
Tangential.
game times now are the same as they were in the 60s and 70s. They kind of went
Right.
up throughout the 90s and 2000s, 2010s,
Mhm.
and so they had to put this artificial cap on it. And now it's the same length they were 50 years ago, which is kind
Yeah.
of interesting, actually.
Yeah. If you play
You
the
know?
game the right way, you wouldn't need all these rules. So even though the rules that are helping, it's like, well, duh, just fix the game the right way, and this would happen. So now you're going to move it to Vegas. Nobody's going to show up. What are they going to have after the first inning? They're going to have everybody plays a slot machine on the big screen, and there's going to be
Dude,
a
yeah,
show in between innings. And
yeah, they're just gonna instead
uh,
of t-shirt cannons, they're just gonna be shooting fucking 8 balls in the crowd. You're gonna have the Rockettes come out and fucking dance and do the high kicks on the infield. See
yeah,
that I would go to, okay? And that
okay,
actually,
maybe.
if they do that fuck it, I will eat every one of
Yeah.
the words I just said. Maybe maybe
Yeah.
they're because again, if they do try to make it into like a show, that could be kind of fun. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I don't think the baseball crowd is down for that sort of thing. As somebody who's from kind of the baseball crowd, so
It doesn't really as much as baseball needs to be more exciting and attract newer fans. It is a very old traditional game. It doesn't just go with that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's
it's going to be
foot.
interesting. It's going to be a clash of cultures.
It's a
I
slow
think you make
paced
a good
game.
point. Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know how you. I don't know what are they going to have, like races after the seventh inning of dead mobsters. I don't know. People instead of the sausage
No,
costumes. It's
no, they're just gonna have three randos from the crowd. They're gonna give them each a bump, and they're just gonna be like, "Run!" And then they're all
have to
gonna be able
run.
to run faster than they've ever run. I think that's gonna be. We've had enough cocaine jokes for one episode, I think. But
That is true. Yeah.
um, one last note: Rob Manfred can blow me. There we go. All right,
There we
that's the
go.
episode, people.
That's the whole thing. Anything else we need to cover? We have a weird schedule this week with Thanksgiving. You're going to sit down with Brian tomorrow and talk some
Yeah.
Jets
Oh, actually, no.
football.
That's not. That's right. That's not the end. This is actually part one. Part two
Part
starts any second
one.
now. You'll hear me talking with Brian. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing. People.
Yeah.
Go team or whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and enjoy your day after Thanksgiving, where there's plenty of extra cranberry sauce to nosh on.
Yeah,
And
leftovers. Hey, napkin
don't
leftovers. Let's go.
yeah, don't kill anybody when you go shopping. You could
Try
wait a
not to.
day to get that. Yeah, and that's it. I just can't wait for uh spring baseball. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Let's go baseball. All right. Good talk. We'll see you out there.
All right, part two begins right now. As promised, we were gonna. I did one with Mike yesterday. We're doing one with Brian right now. Brian, I feel like we've had this conversation too much already on our very young show, which is we have to go, unfortunately, through the emotions of a Jets fan. That happened.
Yeah, I don't have any. I'm numb.
Yeah.
I'm numb.
Okay.
Like, I don't have any emotions. First of all, I didn't get to watch it because I was with my significant other. And we went out for his birthday, and I wanted to postpone it all because I'm like, the Jets game is on, but he was like, no, we can't do it. And that's why the Jets ruin relationships, because so many probably dates or have been put on pause for the Jets, and they always disappoint. So I was able to watch a little bit at the bar. I was able to look at some social media stuff. I saw the pump fake, which is great. Kind of reminds me of
that was the one bright
movie.
spot, by the way.
Well, you know what the Jets kind of remind me of sometimes. It's like when you're the movie Major League, or even the movie with Rick Moranis, where it's like, what's that? It's like Little Giants or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's
like when it's like a ragtag team that's terrible, but then they have this great morale win, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we're bad, but still we did." That's how I felt about that pump fake. It's like that is for a Jets fan. That's like, yeah, and fucking A. I feel so bad for the Jets social media person, because they always have to constantly boost up spirits. And I feel like it was like, hey, Breece Hall's good. Remember how good Breece Hall is? It's like, oh yeah, the one touchdown that he got that put 6 points on the board. And then I'm like, did we miss a field goal too? I didn't even see that part, but I just,
it's bad, man.
Yeah, I'm reading that, Zach Wilson is going to get benched for Tim Boyle. And then they're also talking about Trevor Siemian putting him. It's the same kind of, but it's the same. It's like, that's why people have said there's a QB curse, because it's the same historic kind of bullshit that's been going on with franchise, is that there's no there's no standard quarterback. There's no good quarterback. It's always been the nucleus of the offense, which is a quarterback, has always been shit. And Zach Wilson, he tried, but I guess it's just dude, you just no. It's depressing. It's depressing when you think about it, but I didn't really I had no more emotion than a shoulder shrug. I was so I went through so many highs and lows with with the first game against the Bills where Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and then
Oh, that's right. The opener was against the Bills. Yeah.
It was against the Bills, and obviously, as we all know, Aaron Rodgers got injured like 4 snaps in, and then we won on a kickoff return. Which, by the way, that's why I said I feel bad for the social media people of the New York Jets because it just kept like them like reposting the kickoff return from the first game. Like, wasn't this cool? Remember this? Please still like us. Please still keep buying tickets.
How far do you have to go back? Do they have to start posting like Mark Gastineau highlights of like, remember when we could tackle people? Like, you know,
they're not above Gastineau highlights or Joe Klecko highlights at all.
No,
they're not
definitely
above.
not.
They're not above any of that. They're like Joe
let's talk
Namath was
about
cool once.
how this game is. I actually texted you at the beginning of the game. Both of the Bills games this year, the Jets versus Bills games, they both started very ominously, and in both times I texted you to make sure you're okay. So you didn't see the beginning of yesterday's game. Literally, it started on the Jets fumbling a kickoff return.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first play of the game, before the first possession, before the first anything. Like the game started in the most Jets way possible, and it was it was exactly like you mentioned, Brian. It was just the numbness of just that sound of womp womp. That's it, and that set the tone for the whole game.
And like I didn't expect this. I thought maybe it would have been a good game. I didn't expect this to beat the Bills, but like when I saw, I was able to be at the bar I was at and like just like see the TV and just be like, okay, it was like 6 and like I believe it was like 6:23 or something like that, and I was like, nah, okay, I'm tapping. I'm good. I'm tapping out of this one. I'll watch the highlights. I'll read up on it, and I don't know. We're gonna get murdered by the Dolphins this Friday. Like,
well, here's the thing with the Jets, though, is that they beat the fucking Eagles. They almost beat the Chiefs. Watch them come out and destroy the Dolphins next week.
Or watch Tim Boyle be the Tom Brady of the New York Jets. It was Tim Boyle the whole time. But what was it that? Also, too, I didn't catch the Giants game. How did Tommy DeVito do against the Giants? Because
he did really good. He did really good. I mean, again, granted, it was against the Commanders, and 2 of the 3, or was it 3 of the 4? I think it's 2 of the 3 victories the Giants have this year are against them. So that almost doesn't count. It's kind of like how the Jets' victory against the Giants doesn't count. Like it's he did fine. I'm sure he threw that. Mike was joking that he did something that we haven't done this year, which is throw the ball forward down the field, which that's very. It's the sarcastic tone that both Giants and Jets fans, but especially Giants fans, need to be taking up this year.
I mean, ESPN put this up. Season pass, like they put Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito side by side and said season pass attempts and TD passes. Zach Wilson, 306 attempts, 5 TDs. Tommy DeVito, 73 attempts, 5 TDs. So it's like
that's a third, when it's roughly.
Like, this is like when it's like the Jets and the Giants are like racing for the bottom, like who can be the shittier New York team. Like I guess like Tommy DeVito is doing okay, like or doing really well too late in the game, and then shit, man, Zach Wilson's just not that guy. I wanted to like hold out maybe like a smidgen of hope, but no, and I think he knows he's not the guy too, and I think
I agree.
Just an impossible task of
because the thing is though, and
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's not the guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Brian. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there was like a very short period of time, about a month ago, maybe it lasted 2 or 3 weeks, where we're like, all right, the Jets fans, they see Rodgers go down, but then the Jets are still hanging in some of the games, right? And people are thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe because Rodgers is literally in his ear on the sideline, maybe Zach can evolve a little bit this year. Maybe he can improve. And there were small improvements. So everyone's like, holy shit, maybe this is the guy we've been waiting 3-4 years to finally see. Maybe under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers, it's going to happen. And then just once again, just womp womp.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I guess and people are like, now people are calling for Salia's head, and You know, I mean,
It's not
like,
his fault.
it's not his fault. It's not his fault there,
It's
but
not.
like, you know, I
I'm
just
sorry,
don't
it's
think
not.
we just don't have a good quarterback. That's really what it is, and we'll see, But like, I think the rest of the season's gonna be. I think the game against the Dolphins, if we don't win like at all, or well, I don't think we're gonna win, but like depending on how bad the performance is, that'll probably be like the final nail in the coffin for the season. And then
Yeah,
hopefully we
it's
can
yeah.
hopefully tickets will good news is hopefully tickets will go down, and then maybe I can go watch them in person and watch them be
Maybe we can
god
get
awful in
50-yard
person.
line seats, and we can get close enough to where when you say demeaning things about Zach Wilson's body, he can hear you. Okay.
I will just cackle at Zach Wilson from from the stands,
But like
It'll
do it like
just
a
make
complimenting way.
somehow make him more upset.
Yeah. Be like, yeah, you look really nice in those tight pants, Zach. Just
Yeah.
like give him like compliment
Yeah,
heckles. Like
Yeah, you ride that bench good, Zach. You you ride it real well. He gets confused inside because somehow it makes him feel alive again. And he's like, "This is the worst football season ever."
it would be
Beginning
great
tackle
if like I was thinking about this, and I was thinking how funny would it be if like he hears your cat calls and then he like sees you at the bar later, and then you end up smashing, right? But then the next week he comes out and has the best game of his career. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's just like there was something. He was just like, oh, homosexuality. That was what I was missing this whole
it
time.
turns out a little bit of D gave
Yeah,
him
and
the
Aaron
O that
Rodgers
he
was
needed.
like, I was telling you the whole time. That's what you needed. I was telling you the whole time. That's what I used to cure
Yes.
COVID. His dick. That's what I. Oh, shout out for Aaron Rodgers probably being in the closet, but okay.
For sure.
That would be
I think
amazing.
that you know
That
what?
would be amazing. That would be if I hooked up with Zach Wilson and that made him a better player. That would be 10. That would make up for 20 Christmases and 20 birthdays. Like wouldn't need any other present. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
But what
Okay.
was I gonna? What was? But no, I mean, yeah, I think it's over for the Jets. It's over for the Jets. It's over for the Giants. We'll see.
Oh, they're
And
both top 10 draft, top 5 even possibly draft picks, both teams.
yeah. So, and we'll see next year. What's going to happen with them? We'll see if Aaron Rodgers plays, which I'm also just not hopeful for too at all.
Next year for sure. He wasn't coming back in 10 weeks. Like that was such a dumb news story. No human being has ever come back from that injury in under a year.
Of course not. But
okay?
like, is he going to be like? He's older. Is he going to be better? Like, is this going to happen again? Is he going to get injured again? Like, it's just.
I think the question you got to ask yourself is, will 47-year-old Aaron Rodgers be better than the current stable of QBs for the Jets? And I think the answer to that is sort of a yes by default, is it not?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
So that's it. That's all you have to. Because right now, if this team had a league average play from that position, they'd be easily above 500, if not a hell of a lot more. You know.
But they need to also now with whoever's going to be second string for next season. They need to just like groom the shit out of them because it's obviously now like a huge risk that like Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So like they need to I think everyone was so giddy. I could be completely wrong, but I think the coaches and the fans and the players and the team were so giddy about Aaron Rodgers being a QB and having like great like players like like Brees Hall and fucking Wilson too, as well as a wide receiver. Like they were, and Sauce Gardner. Like everyone was very giddy about that, and they didn't even think that they didn't even plan for the black swan scenario. That it was just all gonna collapse.
I mean, that being said, though, it's hard to prepare for getting literally nothing. Like they figured, okay, if he gets hurt and he misses a few weeks here and there, they can fudge it and figure it out. They didn't think it'd be 4 minutes into the first game of the year
and out for the season.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's a great place to end. Have a magical Thanksgiving, everybody, and we will talk to you next week. Go team.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Yep.